Hi friends, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be all about the Catholic curriculum and books that we will be using this year in our upcoming homeschool year, the 2025-2026 homeschool year. So I'm going to have a second grader and a kindergartner. So let's get right into it. So we're going to get right into the video because I know this is going to be a chatty one. So just fair warning, that's what's going to happen here. I already made a video on the rest of our curriculum for this year for my second grader and my kindergartner, so I'll make sure to leave that down below and at the end so that you can check that out. Okay, so as far as the curriculum goes for this year, this is all the Catholic stuff. Curriculum and books, that's what this video is. I loved everything that we did last year, and I will make sure again that I post the videos down below. So if you want to check out what we used last year, we are pivoting this year. We are using new things, and I am so excited about that. I love the things we used last year, but I don't want to use the same things over and over again, right? Even the church, the mass readings that we hear are cycled through every 3 years. You know, you've got your A, B, and C. You come back each time you cycle through with, you know, a new perspective, wisdom, all that stuff. So a lot of the things that we did last year, yeah, I loved them. And I know in a few years we will cycle through them again as we get older, things change. Anyway, all that stuff, just that's my perspective on that. So I love the things we used, but we will be doing all new things. Okay. As far as what we will be using, I like to check some boxes when it comes to the curriculum or the books that I've picked for us to go through. Now, I have a lot of like Catholic picture books in general that we do read from, that my kids are allowed to bring to Mass, or, you know, a lot of the ones on the saints, things like that. So, you know, I don't have all of those, but those are just things that we pull out for specific seasons or, you know, things like that. But as far as like the big stuff that we'll be going through in our homeschool, that's what this is. And like I was saying, I like to check some boxes. So I like to be reading things from the Bible. I like to be reading about the saints. I like to make sure we're doing some sort of catechism, and then following the liturgical year. So those are all the things that I kind of like to make sure we're fulfilling in some way. So all these things kind of do that. And it doesn't mean like every single day I need to be doing all of those things, but just like in general, those are the things that I want to be focusing on, make sure we're getting, all of our bases covered there. So first things first, I am going to share, where did it go? Okay. We actually do have one thing from last year because we didn't finish it. Two things, my bad. The first thing is this Catholic Book of Bible Stories. I'm actually going to have my second grader be reading this on his own. They're just 1.5 page stories with like a reflection page and with a prayer at the end. I've talked about this a lot. I don't want to go into great detail. He's going to be working on this. Again, this is to establish like his prayer time and just kind of being more introspective and just reading on his own. I think this is probably a good age to start doing that. He'll be in second grade. The other thing that is a leftover from last year, because we did not finish it because I had to focus on something else, is the My Little Catechism. I don't remember how far we got, so I'll have to figure that out, and then I'm just gonna continue on where we left off of. And we will be working our way through this. It's not going to take us the whole year to get through. I think we were about halfway as I'm sort of looking through this now. So I do think we were about halfway through. So I don't think it will take us all that long to finish up. Definitely Advent at the very latest. We'll be done with this. So yeah, those are the two things left over from last year. Everything else is new. So here we go. The big thing that we're going to be doing this year is this story of the Bible. This is on the Old Testament. I have the audiobook for this, and I got the CDs because I'm old school. I'm a millennial. We print out itinerary, the paper version, because we don't trust technology. And, we have backups of things, Okay, so I had to get the CD. We also have the story book. This is like the readings here. And then I have the teacher's manual and the activity book. There's also a test book and like streaming video lectures. I don't have either one of those things. I think these things are going to be more than enough for us. And I have a couple different reasons for doing this. One, I actually want to go through and learn, have my kids learn these things. This is all about the Old Testament. The other reason is that I plan to start Ancients next year, and I have been looking at the story of civilization. They have a 4-year cycle of history that covers ancients, medieval, all that stuff, that I want to do. But before I, kind of commit myself to a 4-year cycle of history, I wanted to do something that was similar. So this is published by Tan Books. Excellent. I have so many of their books. They have great sales. So just an amazing Catholic publisher. But they have, like I said, the story of civilization, which is like your 4-year cycle of history. They have the story of the Bible, the Old Testament. They have the New Testament. There's one called the story of Mary, and there's another one, the story of the church. And again, it's all set up very like the same way. It's got the CDs. They always have the little book. There's always a teacher's manual and an activity book, in the lectures and the test book. So, it's a similar setup, but just different topics, right? So we're going to be, like I said, working through this one on the Old Testament. This is actually only 22 lessons. The 4-year history one is like a full year, 35 or 36 lessons. This one is 22, so this is not going to take us the entire year, which has me wondering if I should also get the volume 2 with the New Testament and start that as well. So I'll have to see. I think each lesson is going to take us a week, like it's a lesson per chapter. So there's 22 chapters, 22 lessons. So I think the way I'm going to have to do it, there's breaking up the chapters into the different little subsections that they have as we listen or read, probably listen and follow along. That's how we usually do audiobooks. So I think it's going to be like a week per chapter is how I'm going to do it. And it's going to be like, like every other day, and maybe on like Friday do the activities, any of the extra activities, I should say, not some of the regular activities. So most of the chapters have coloring pages and map work. So those are the things we will definitely be doing on like say Monday, Wednesday. And then on Friday, the possibility of doing, some of the crafty activities, I'll just say. So I'm going to do lots of videos on this, how we use it, what it looks like a flip through. Because there aren't a lot of videos on like this curriculum, even on the history one either. So anyway, that's going to be like the big thing that we work through this year. And then on the other days of doing that, so I showed you the little catechism book. The other thing we're going to work through, or not work through, but like read through, is we're going to read about the saints. Of course, we love doing that. So I have this book on the Eucharistic Saints, 20 Stories of Devotion to Jesus. This is again another Tan Books publishing. Let's see. So each one is just like a page, just like this. Okay, not a page. I thought it was a page. It's like 3 or 4 pages, but they're still very short, like nothing too long there. So we're going to work our way through this. And I did see that it has like their feast days. I don't worry about like trying to read. It's too much pressure to like worry about reading something on someone's feast day. So we're just going to work through this in order. I'm not worried about like making sure we read it on someone's feast day. So there's that. Now again, there's only 20, so that's not going to take us super long to get through. And then I also have this set of Saints books by Meg Hunter Kilmer. I have the adult version of this. Actually, hang on. So I went and grabbed it, okay? So I have the adult version. It's kind of weird to say it like that, but you know, a book written for adults, you know what I'm saying? Okay, and this one, you know, it's called Pray for Us, 75 Saints Who Sinned, Suffered, and Struggled on Their Way to Holiness. I have no idea if they're the same saints in that one versus like this kids version. They're probably different. Maybe they're the same. I don't know. I'll keep you posted as we go through these. So this is a set of 6, and we're just going to work our way through them. They're not particularly long. Again, it's a page. They're just a page, so very short readings. The pages are like very cardstocky. It's almost hard to like open the book because the pages are just so stiff, which is really good. It means it's definitely going to hold up for sure. So we have ordinary saints around the world, talented saints around the world, adventurous saints, young saints, unshakable saints, and then royal and warrior saints. I know she also has like a picture book, similar, like another saints type book. That's a picture book, and it's like saints around the world. So anyway, we're going to be working our way through that. Like I said, probably every other day from the story of the Bible. So we're going to work through that. Now, for Advent and Lent, I decided I didn't want to do like, this is going to sound weird, but I didn't want to do anything specifically Advent or specifically Lent. We've done, you know, like daily readings, and those things are all amazing to do, but it's also a lot of pressure sometimes to continually do something every single day, you know, fill out a tree, you know, or whatever it is. It can be like a lot. So I'd like to do something intentional for both of those seasons, but just not necessarily like a daily thing. That's what I'm thinking. So for Advent, I'm pretty sure that this is what I want to do. I could change my mind, but I am going to work through with my kids another Catholic picture study from Into the Deep. We love them. I'm going to do parables of Jesus with my kids. We haven't done this one yet. The only one that we've done so far is the Holy Week one, and we loved that. So this is the one that I think we're going to do for Advent. Just keep it really simple for Advent this year. Do some fun things. And this won't be an everyday thing. I don't know how many there are. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we could do like, you know, 2 or 3 a week and do this during Advent. I think that's going to be really nice to do. We'll still be reading lots of, you know, Christmas books, and we have, like I said, we have tons of picture books that we just read around that time of year anyway. So I think that's what I want to do this year for Lent. Or I'm sorry, for Advent. And then for Lent is longer. And I think we're going to work our way through the this unit study on the Beatitudes. Also, from Into the Deep, we did the Mass unit this past year. Loved it. And this one is very similar setup if you've seen any of their unit studies. So I'm quite excited to do this with my kids. So that's mostly what we will be using. I have a few other things that I might add in, especially like I know we're going to finish that catechism book fairly early. So I have a few other things that I might kind of sneak in. I kind of just have to see how the year goes, again, because this is so different than what we did last year. So I do have the set of cards here from Catholic Family Crate. There's one on this is their Bible Basics card set. You can buy them individually or as a set of 3. So I got the set of 3. There's one on the early church, Jesus' life on earth, and the Old Testament. Maybe we should do the Old Testament one because we're going to be doing that Old Testament study. But here's kind of what the cards look like. They look like this on one side, and then on the other side, so like this one, let me pick a random one here. Let's see, the 10 Commandments. All right, here we go. The 10 Commandments. So it has a Bible verse in the bottom, Exodus, and then on the back, it's the top says connections. And then it has a couple things listed, like the Beatitudes given in Matthew, and then the readings are a fulfillment of the 10 Commandments given to Moses in Exodus. And there's a couple other things. And then at the bottom it says conversations. And then there's some like questions. So one of them is, which commandments would you like to work on? How can you work on keeping them? And then the second one is, Moses saw God face to face. What do you think it will be like to see God face to face in heaven? Okay, so those are these cards. I don't know. I don't know if we'll work through them or not. I have them. It's one of these things that I have, and it just kind of has to be at the right time. I love having all these plans. I always have plans like A, B, C, D, and then it always comes down to like what the energy is, what the vibe is as to which plan we end up executing. So we have that. So possibility, and that would be like a really easy, like just a conversation starter, I think, just like something small and simple to do. The other thing I have, and I brought up all three, although looking at them now, I know exactly which one we will end up doing. We have this, who is Jesus? His life, his land, his time. And we also have this one, the life of Jesus according to St. Luke. These are from the Magnificat bookstore. So there's that one, and this one, now that I brought them up, I don't think we'll be doing these this year. But the one that I brought up with them, because they were next to each other, so I just brought all three up, is this one, Tell Me About the Catholic Faith. And so I think this will fill the catechism box after we finish the other one. This is From the Bible to the Sacraments. Again, this is from the Magnificat bookstore. And there's just so much information. Again, breaking things up bit by bit, different things. So I think this will be like similar to the little catechism that we did, but just going further and obviously way more topics. This is a lot bigger. So like this one, Mother Teresa, trip to the Vatican. This is all about the Vatican. The Pope, the leader of all Catholics. I'm going to skip ahead. Parish life, the church. To believe, what does that mean? The big questions. God does not like death. He gives life everlasting. Evil and sin. Live like Jesus. Mary. Yes. Oh, I love that. A yes for a lifetime. The saints, they show the way to God. So, I feel like actually that's the way I'm going to go, and not these other two. Although I just wanted to show you them in case these might be better actually, I think, for older kids anyway. It does say 7 and up. This actually, one of them says 9 and up on them, and the other one says 7 and up on them. So probably a good idea that I wait on them anyway. So I think I'm going to do the Tell Me About the Catholic Faith after we finish the My Little Catechism. So yeah, I think that's everything. And like I said, a bunch of extra, we have tons of books just on the church in general, like picture books, kid books, board books, books on the saints, all that stuff that I will pull out, seasonally for different things. So yeah, that's what we're going to be using. And I'm so excited. It's so different from last year, but I think this is going to be amazing. I think we're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be so much fun. I love that I get to learn beside my kids. As someone who went through RCIA, I feel very well versed in some things, and like I have no idea about certain topics. So I do love that I get to learn further with my kids. I just love that. So anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. If you'd like to see anything more in depth, please let me know. I will try to do that as I kind of, you know, schedule things out for the year, how I want to do my videos. So if there's stuff you want to see, please let me know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Check out some of my other videos. Like I said, I'll leave them down below on some of the stuff we used last year. And if you want to see my other curriculum picks, I will see you guys all in the next video real soon.